The Food and Drug Administration is supposed to make sure that what we eat in the United States is safe. But an investigation from Politico shows that that isn't happening. The article is called "The FDA's Food Failure." It details how the agency has fallen flat on food safety and nutrition. Among the issues, food recalls that are stalled for months, toxic elements in baby food, and a continued failure to address high sodium levels. For more on the piece, we welcome the author, Helena Bottemiller Evich. Helena is Politico's senior food and agriculture reporter. Helena, thanks for joining us. So give us the big picture. Why is the FDA's leadership having such problems?
Yeah, the big picture is that food is really not a high priority at FDA. This is something that's well known in the food space. It's well known, FDA officials joke about it, food industry leaders know it, consumer advocates know it. I think it's just surprising for consumers to hear this news. So there's a number of reasons why this is the case. There's structural problems, leadership problems. Really, FDA has had challenges for a very long time, and this story really just put all the pieces together.
I think when you say food isn't a particularly high importance to the Food and Drug Administration, everyone at home is just going to be scratching their heads about that. Talk to us about water safety. What does a water safety standard have to do with keeping food safe?
Yeah, so 11 years ago, Congress passed a really sweeping update to food safety law. It was really the biggest update we've had in about a century. And that was in response to a lot of foodborne illness outbreaks, spinach, peanut butter, pet food. We had seen a lot of problems, and so Congress stepped in. They asked FDA to set a safety standard for the water that's used to grow fresh produce. So that's trying to keep deadly pathogens like E. coli and salmonella out of the water that we use to grow, the food that we eat fresh. It's been 11 years and FDA still has not put water safety standards in place. And I think most reasonable people would agree that that is too long. We still don't know when these standards are going to be in place.
Helena, the FDA oversees nearly 80% of the American food supply, and you actually quoted a former acting commissioner of the agency as saying the food program is on the back burner. To me, that's problem number one. That's the quote from the former acting commissioner. And you also found that the FDA is slow in issuing recalls with potentially deadly outbreaks. In many cases, it takes months for that to happen. Why is that?
There are a lot of challenges here. I think part of it is the culture and the leadership of FDA. You mentioned it's common for recalls to not happen quickly. We actually just saw an example of that with the infant formula situation. The first illness that we know of for this massive infant formula recall was in September, and product was ultimately recalled in mid-February. If you go through these major produce outbreaks, it's really common for recalls to happen a month, 2 months, 3 months, even 4 months after people start getting sick. So there are real challenges here. And I think, we're seeing already some members of Congress taking a look at this saying, can't we do better than this? There has to be a way to get this food out of the marketplace quicker and prevent some illnesses.
Helena, you just mentioned toxic baby food and some of those problems. There have been a number of studies. I remember doing one myself that found heavy metals, lead, other contaminants in baby food, and in some cases in organic baby formula. Why hasn't the FDA done better, in particular in that area, when we know that it's being given to the youngest and most vulnerable among us?
Yeah, this is one of those issues that I think parents are completely dumbfounded by. Like, how could we not have standards in place for things like lead and cadmium and arsenic for baby foods? There is, contamination across the food supply. So this is something that a lot of health advocates would like to see. They would like to see standards targeted at baby food and infant formula for exactly the reasons you just mentioned. These are particularly vulnerable populations. As far as the CDC is concerned, there is no known safe level of lead. So this is something we should be taking really seriously. Lead exposure can have lifelong consequences, lowered IQ, behavioral problems. These are not issues that parents or health providers take lightly. And so I think there's broad consensus that the agency could do better by setting some standards and then really holding the food industry accountable to those when they're sourcing ingredients. This is one of those things that parents should not have to think about. I'm the parent of a toddler as well. We should not be thinking about this. This is something that the food industry and food makers and the FDA should be thinking about for us. I think there's pretty broad consensus on that point.
Yeah, the regulatory agencies that are supposed to be keeping those food supplies safe. So that obviously is in the realm of something that's toxic that we're trying to get out of the food supply. But there's also a lot of advocacy groups that think that we are adding in, and that a lot of food manufacturers are adding in something else that is potentially so devastating to our health, which is salt. They've been pushing for a crackdown on sodium levels since the 1970s. What's happening with that? Why is the FDA not doing more?
Yeah, sodium is one of those issues that has been debated for a long time. We know that the government recommends we're supposed to consume about 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day, and the average American is consuming 3,400 milligrams of sodium a day. So we are far in excess of where health experts say we should be. And so there's been this push at the FDA to try to set goals for the food industry. We call them sodium reduction targets. They are not regulatory, they're not mandatory, but the food industry is expected to take federal standards or goals, seriously. So FDA, the plan is to try to get the entire food industry to slowly reduce salt over time to help reduce incidence of hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, which their own estimates say could save tens of thousands of lives per year. But it's taken over a decade to even set voluntary goals. So we have some voluntary goals that we finally saw come out September 2021, and those are going to take effect in 2024. Just to give you a sense, this was a fight during the Obama administration. So I have been covering the sodium issue for a long time, and it's one of those real head scratchers, I think, from people on the outside. Why does it take so long? There's a lot of industry opposition. That's certainly a major factor here. But again, it comes down to a question of leadership and whether or not FDA is functioning as, consumers expect it to function.
Tens of thousands of lives. It seems like such a small thing until you put it in perspective like that. All right. Helena Bottemiller Evich, thank you so much.
Thank you.